Well, here we are for another Art Unfiltered, another edition, and we found a gem right here in the heart of downtown Grand Rapids. Now I'm gonna, I think, officially mess up your last name because that'll lead me to my first question. Hugo Claudin, but it's really not Claudin. Hugo.
It's Claudin.
Claudin. Appreciate you and what art you have to share with us. Tell us first of all about you.
Okay. Well, I've been in Grand Rapids for 37 years. I moved here in 1980. It was the year John Lennon was shot, and so that was kind of like my introduction to the pop culture of the United States. I had a studio just down the street 25 years ago on 42 South Division, and a good friend of mine told me about these spaces that were coming up available for creative people in the downtown, and I was like, well, how do I sign up? And so the Dwelling Place, I think with the Cool Cities program, got these spaces up and running for people like me, and so I've been here 11 years.
Hugo, take me back even farther to your roots, and I'm going to have you drop some names.
Sure.
Your dad was a big deal, man.
My dad was a talent scout for Capitol Records, so Glenn Wallach started Capitol Records with Buddy Da Silva and Johnny Mercer. And prior to that, my dad had run the studio, the recording studio at Music City, which is on the corner of Sunset and Vine. And that was a very famous music store, and they started like the listening booth. They were very creative. It was like a one-stop shop. You could get a toaster there, you could get a hi-fi, a stereo, so they were called, and sheet music, and that was where all the jazz cats, all the people hung out. My dad was very well connected to that scene. So when Glenn Wallach turned Music City into Capitol Records, he brought my dad along as a talent scout, and Dad signed people like Nat King Cole to Capitol Records, and so he was just all over with the music and the jazz. And then if you fast forward after that, his first wife passed away, and his plan was just to travel around the world on cruisers, which was the thing to do, and he was eventually going to settle in Spain, but he made a stop in Acapulco and met my mother, and then they settled in Guadalajara, and that's where I was born. And
wow. People like you, what is your art? Who is
Well, I do a lot of stuff with Mexican wrestling masks. I currently am working on a series, Women on the Verge of Kicking Your Butt.
Ooh, good.
And that's going to be at Kalamazoo Black Arts in September, kind of a feature for Latin History Month. And so I've been working with the theme of women dressed as wrestlers.
And this is oil painting on canvas,
It's kind of gone all over the place. So I'm doing a night series that's mostly in oil, and then the day series is done with like house paint and acrylic.
You have a favorite piece of art you'd like to describe that's here in your office?
Well, right behind us is a part of a triptych that I was doing for a local vegan restaurant, and I took again the motif of the Mexican wrestler, but I did like an update on zapatistas, which usually use a ski mask, a black ski mask, and I did it with the condition that I would update it.
From your talents, lastly, Hugo, what do you want your audience to take from a sneak peek?
Well, at the time that I started creating this stuff, I was trying to incorporate the roots, the Mexican culture, and there was a big attention going to Frida Kahlo and her as a surrealist, bisexual, feminist person. I thought she was a big influence on people of my generation. There had been really nothing written about her prior to the time that I came here, and there was a biography on her when I was at Kendall. It kind of just like inspired me to kind of explore my roots and present them to an audience here. So I just kind of like started focusing on what was there, and the word for lucha libre It's kind of a play. There's a lot of plays in the words that I use and the things that I name. So lucha libre is like freestyle wrestling, but it's also like the same word for like a struggle. So like revolutionary struggle, everyday struggle. I did healthcare, working with the Latino community, and knew a lot about their struggles living here, particularly during the time of the the first Bush administration.
So a lot of struggle message.
Yeah, so like this was kind of like a motivational tool for to tell young girls, young women that they could resist, they could be part of the struggle as well. So it's kind of a play on the words, but also kind of a fun message to like incorporating Mexican wrestling. So when I first started showing the work, people were very confused because usually it's like a big guy with, and I just kind of turned that around.
Yeah. Good. Thank
Yeah.
you for turning it around. And,
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
All right.
Yeah.
Claudin.
Claudin.
There we are. Nice work.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.